welcome back to Project Independence and You on 88.1 FM and WCWP.org. Your host, Rebecca Miller, along with our co-host, Otto Los, and of course, Kristina Liu. Kristina, who is the radio show producer, pulls this program together every week. Great guests, always, almost like a little outside the box, but just really when you talk to them, you get it. You get why they're here. So many obvious connections that Project Independence members, females, of course, would have with the Transition Network. And they're so similar to a lot of the things that we do. Well, even their partners and their committees and everything. So another great guest. And of course, it was nice to have Barbara Melman, who is our Project Independence member and our technology for the Terrified guru. So that all being said, Kristina, what is happening in the town? What is going on?
Well, there's a lot going on. I just have to say it was a wonderful segment. And, Otto, I think when you have downtime, you might have to form the male counterpart to.
Yeah, seriously, that was I thought about it just now while we were just sitting here. And it's really a great mechanism, if you will, or organization to get involved with something. If you can get involved with a committee. It could be an entree to an organization you might want to be a volunteer with. It could lead you down a lot of paths. You have to be the type of person who wants to get involved with something, which not everybody is. But for people who are looking and they don't quite know how to go about it, I think it's a great avenue to go down. You can get hooked up with lots of different things, as much as you want, as little as you want.
Right. Your level of commitment could be like, you want to do this, you maybe want to volunteer, maybe you want a program to kind of like, maybe you'll meet someone with similar interests.
No, and that's what I thought was so special. It's like, and I think that's always the fear of everyone when they're, approaching retirement. It's like, what do I do next? Like, what do you just don't want to like not do it, especially if you came from like a world of being out there and stuff, to just shockingly like be in this place where you're not involved in something is certainly difficult. And I just, learning about that organization and just on top of all the programs, I love all the volunteerism that goes on in there, and the cause it's very current. It's just a great organization. So I was just,
like a lot of things in life, you really have to approach rewirement with some kind of thinking. And I had the good fortune, I worked for a company called Mars Electronics, which doesn't exist with that name anymore, but it was part of the Mars Candy Company. And when you were approaching retirement, they actually ran a session for 2 days, which they would have people come in and talk about how you're going to go in your next part of your life. Are you going to go to Florida? Are you going to do this? Are you going to do that? What did you do before? And, a lot of people think, oh, they're not going to spend any money because they're retired. Well, what did you do before? Did you like to go out to eat? Did you like to travel? None of that's going to go away. So they approach it from a financial point of view, a social point of view, a self-fulfillment point of view. Like you have to make, what your targets are. Like maybe your family, you want to get closer with your family, your grandchildren, whatever. I think it requires sitting down and really thinking about it. Don't just approach it like I know, unfortunately, some people are bored to death with retirement. Why? They don't do anything. They don't have any projects. They're limited in terms of what they do. I'm not knocking people for that. Some people like that.
Right, and that's a point. I think you have to kind of do what it's a personality type.
If you were like Lindsay described, always busy working, and Barbara, well, to go all of a sudden cold turkey and do nothing, that's not going to be fun. But if you are of the nature that you're content with just kind of hanging around, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Everybody's allowed to do with their life what they want. But if you're inclined to want to do something, you ought to really think about it a little bit. What do you want to do?
Right. Some planning, and then you can get involved with this wonderful organization. I mean, it was just, I was absolutely blown away to just learn something new about something that's in the community. That's the fun part of the show every week. I knew like surface about it, and I was like, wow, there's really amazing and such a variety of programs for everyone. So,
And Long Island
yeah,
had the biggest chapter on
yeah,
Long Island. New
That's right.
830
City.
members. You know how hard it is to get 830 members into an
All virtual,
organization?
I believe it.
That's work. That'd be my world, and that's not easy. That's not easy to do.
Well, it was certainly wonderful. And of course, if anyone is interested in joining, they can go to the website, ttnwomen.org. If you're watching the video of this, we'll have it up at the end, so you can go check it out. Or, of course, you could always call 311 or 516-869-6311 for any information on that program. And Barbara Melman had a great point after we finish the segment, because as everyone knows, she's our technology for the terrified guru, and she started during the pandemic to actually over the phone do some Zoom training for people that wanted to utilize all these wonderful virtual programs but didn't know how. So she said if someone doesn't have access to or doesn't know how to go about it, she can walk them through getting connected to the website. So you could also call 311 to get connected to Barbara. So I just want everyone to know that, because it's a great little volunteerism that she's doing for us. Next week, we have a jam-packed show. We are going to have on Parker Jewish Institute, and they're going to talk about various programs that are over there, including Parker at Your Door, Willing Hearts Helpful Hands program, and the Hope and Healing program. Otto has some nerve to be going away, and he will not be with us, so it will just be Rebecca and I really diving into this. And then after that is going to be the Parks Department will be on to talk about summer 2022 parks, events, and programs. Beck will definitely need a nap, I think, after this show.
Oh, yeah. I need one now.
It's too bad I'm going to miss the Parks Department one because, as you know, I'm a park utilizer.
I know. Well, you know what, Otto? You do not have to worry, because all these videos and audio is archived on our website or on the WCWP Studios YouTube page. And I will send you the link, Otto, as soon as we get it, so we can make sure you are up to date on all things Parks Department for 2022.
We have a lot of great parks in the town of North Hempstead.
We certainly do.
Really do. Small, large, medium.
No, and I think that's so important. And, that's another thing I'm always blown away by, because you always forget, some of the major ones, and then, we'll have these conversations with the Parks Department, and you realize in each town there's sprinkled with, a little hidden gem. For example, we, I guess it was 2 weeks ago, don't quote me, not sure, my days are a little jumbled. We had our advisory committee meeting, and it was at John Camera Park in Albertson. Which I've worked for the town for many, many years, and I've never been there. And a bunch of the other staff people that were there too. Beck, was it your first time there, Beck, as well?
It was my first time there. In fact, Waze took me away. Yeah, it was.
It was such a beautiful. I mean,
very nice.
I encourage people, if you want to have some kind of meeting there, or if you have a group, it's a great space. And then the outside is beautiful. You can walk around there. There's a whole little park thing for children. There's some softball fields.
That's why after the meeting, I actually walked for about 20 minutes around the park.
And, yeah, they have the trail.
Yeah.
How long is that little path, Otto, to go around with?
It's really not all that long, but it's long enough if you walk around it a few times. And the scenery's pretty good. Nice.
But that's just an example, and that's right in Albertson. It's a very convenient park. It's very close to our home base over at Clyn G. Martin Park. And when I went, I said, what is this little, it's like kind of like just tucked away in a neighborhood, but a beautiful facility. So that was just one example.
Very good restroom facilities too, which is very important.
When a
senior is going to go for a walk.
We tend to go back to restrooms a lot on this show. It's a very big concern for us.
That's right.
But it is glad Otto gave it his stamp of approval. So you heard it here first.
Yeah. I give it a good rating. Yeah, very good.
Glad to hear, Otto. And then, of course, summer means, and Beck, I hope you can give us a little glimpse into this. Fun Day Monday will be kicking off on July 11th, which is very, very exciting.
So we've got yeah, it's we have our kickoff will be like Christina said, it's Monday, July 11th, and we have Stan and Edie will be performing. We're going to have Project Independence fitness classes. I believe we're going to have the cafe. We are actually, still looking for a line dancing instructor. So if anyone listening has a really good recommendation for a line dancing instructor, please call 311 or 869-516-869-6311 and ask to speak to me. One new thing it looks like we're adding, and I love that Barbara picked it up, and I wanted to mention it, but I knew I'd be mentioning it now, is we are speaking with a pickleball instructor. So I think we're going to have a pickleball instructor every Monday, and we're going to do it on the basketball court. And we're going to have to, I guess the first Fun Day Monday, we'll do like a registration. We want to see what kind of interest there is. We're assuming that we'll have, enough people to have them come every week. And then, based on who is interested, will we do 2 half-hour sessions, or if we don't have a lot of people, it'll be 1 hour. So we're kind of exploring right now. I guess it's a pilot, but I think we're going to have it. And then of course, each week thereafter, we'll have very, familiar musicians. We're going to have our health fair. Then of course, the last one will always be a salute to the troops. And
I believe there's some beach walks too, right? Isn't there some
there's
beach
going to be
walks that will go on?
Beach walks, there's going to be crafts, there's going to be all the familiar things that we did pre-pandemic. We did try to do a few last summer, though because of weather we weren't able to do all 4. And the summer before we did actually do Fun Day Monday, but it was on North Hempstead television. Do you remember that?
Oh, yes, I do, because I remember John Ryan and I did some radio kind of interviewing with people for Fun Day Mondays, which was kind of fun. But that's exciting. It's exciting to be back. There is certainly a lot going on. I'm looking at the schedule in front of me, and it just looks like it's going to be a great time. And I'm really intrigued by pickleball. It's all the rage, pickleball, and not just with seniors. I see all ages kind of playing pickleball now, and it's very interesting. At CGM when I'm driving home, I always pass and I see people playing pickleball on the courts over there. So I think that's a great idea to kind of try and see if that's going to be incorporated into Fun Day Monday.
Yeah. Well, Jones Beach is not in Town North Hempstead, obviously, but I walked there on Sunday mornings, and they have a whole line of pickleball courts, beautiful, brand new pickleball courts. And every now and then you get a couple of people out there playing pickleball. But I think it could be a game. I've never played it. I was
going to ask you, Otto. I was going to ask if you.
No, I'd like to try it. I
can see you doing it. I feel
I used to play a little tennis, but when I was in the Navy, I played tennis like every day. There was a guy who insisted that I learn how to play tennis. So I learned, and then I didn't play for 40 years after that. But I don't play tennis now. But pickleball would be interesting. I don't think you have to be, Charles Atlas or anybody in physical condition. I see people playing. It seems to be a pretty timid game, to be honest.
It's like, is it like a combination of maybe like ping pong and tennis and handball?
Yes, because it's a big ball. Like the ball is larger.
It's like a wiffle ball,
right?
Without holes, as I see it. Yeah.
And they use paddles, not rackets. So it's similar like that with ping pong. So
I used to play paddle ball a lot.
Yeah.
With a ball off the wall.
Yes.
Right.
This is different.
I'm really intrigued, Beck. You got to keep us updated on all this. And of
Absolutely.
course, there's always transportation that is available, bus transportation. So you can call 311 to get that bus schedule because there's a bunch of different stops. So definitely check it out. I think it's really exciting. It's really a great program. And it really kind of, that's always the North Hempstead summer kind of staple and the fact that you're able to do it this year, God willing, the weather, holds out for us, but certainly looks good. So once again, that kicks off on Monday, July 11th, and the rain dates are Thursday of that week.
Right. One thing, I know, Kristina, you have the flyer in front of you. We're doing one day a little bit different. In the past, we did kind of like the Hawaiian theme where we had Elvis and the luau dancers, but they were not available, the dancers. So we have Elvis and Frank Sinatra, and these two gentlemen together have worked together in the past, and they do they do a few songs together. They do a few separate. So we're calling this Viva Las Vegas.
I see that. Oh, I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And we have Beatles, which is a Beatles band. So they're going to come and do, they're going to be the entertainment. And I think a lot of the bands that we've had do a lot of the Beatles songs. So we're doing a little different.
It's
see
fun.
how
That's always fun to see. I'm very into the Viva Las Vegas. Mark your calendars, is August 1st. So kicking off August with that, which is fun. So definitely check out Fun Day Monday and the beautiful park. Also coming in June is on June 25th is the next installment of the Stop Throwing Out Pollutants Stop program, which is a fan favorite amongst our seniors, and we are always promoting it on the show. Otto, I know you always take advantage of it every go around. So it's a great time to get rid of all kinds of things around your house. Of course, it's all kinds of chemicals, and there's a whole list. So you can call 311. Once again, that's June 25th at 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And you can call 311 for a list of all the items accepted.
And we have to take a quick break. I can't believe 20 minutes went by. It just flew by. So we're talking with, of course, our radio show producer, Kristina Lou, and Talk of the Town. And we have to take a quick break. We'll be back with Project Independence in You on 88.1 FM and WCWP.org.
WCWP is your home for great music and great conversation. You'll find all that and more on WCWP.org. Listen live on the web, check out the lineup, subscribe to podcasts, and stay up to date on the latest station events. Get in touch with us and let us know if you like what you're hearing. And find out how you can support or get involved at the only community public radio station serving Nassau's North Shore. Plus, sign up to get a free bumper sticker. It's all online at WCWP.org.
And welcome back to Project Independence in You on 88.1 FM and WCWP.org. I'm Rebecca Miller along with Otto Los. And of course, Kristina Lou, who is our radio show producer in this Talk of the Town segment. We're learning what is going on in the town of North Hempstead. Kristina, you just started with the STOP program and just go from there. I've got a packet of tons of things going on.
That's right.
Just a quick question. What number do you call to get information?
From 311?
Yeah.
311
you know what's 311?
Or 516-869-6311.
There's 311 days to Kristina Lou's birthday.
Oh!
Otto, you had me stumped. I was like, I guess Otto wants me to promote the number. I wasn't sure where we were going with that.
I thought that was pretty ironic. I happened to look it up, and there it was, 311.
It's all just, the world, the universe is just telling us something. It's all just coming together. I'm just so ingrained in the town of North Hempstead today. I just feel it running through my bones.
Days to go.
Well,
and
thank
Otto,
you for that.
when you said looking up for information, I'm thinking, God, does 411 still exist? Like, isn't that what we used to call, like 411, and
That's
you get
right.
charged? My mother would say, "Stop calling 411. I'm getting charged 25 cents." Like,
oh, that's so great. Well, and speaking of birthdays, I would be remiss if I did not wish. Yesterday was my baby brother's, who's not so much a baby anymore, his birthday. So we celebrated that. And then his fiance, who was on our show last week, her birthday is on Monday. So a lot of celebrating going on.
Are we allowed to find out their age?
Yes, of course you can. So my brother just turned 28. And Amanda is turning the big 3-0.
Ooh.
So it's quite the occasion of celebrating.
Memorial Day.
Yep. She always says she's Miss America. That's what she always says.
well, your brother and my son are only about a year apart.
Yeah. Yes, and it's been a big year for my brother. As we had updated,
Certainly has.
He's a new homeowner. So we've been indebted to him every waking second. He was milking the birthday card yesterday with putting Jay and I to work in the new home. But all
What
good
does your
things.
brother do, by the way?
He actually works for Nassau BOCES, but he works in because my whole family pretty much works for Nassau BOCES, but all in different kind of realms. But he does the tech over there. So he works for School District Barry Tech, which is an amazing program, which I said to give a shout out. It is a great trade program. He actually did that when he was in high school. So part of the day he would be at Barry Tech and part of the day he'd be at Roslyn. But you learn different trades, and they have such amazing programs there. I'm always blown away. So my brother does all the wiring and tech kind of work over there. So
Wow. That's
so
a
very
great
he's our
to know.
go-to tech guy, my brother. But happy birthday, James and Amanda.
Happy birthday, you two.
Happy
Right,
birthday.
so, speaking of birthdays, I didn't want it to be all about myself. Also coming up in Project Independence in the month of June, of course, we have all of our support groups are still going strong. I want to remind people that we have a caregiver to a spouse support group program. It is still via Zoom, and it's really working out wonderfully to be in this kind of, to be virtual, because it's very difficult for them to get out, and leave their significant other home. So it really gives them time to do that, and it's such a special group. I've had the pleasure, Beck, I know you have also, to facilitate, the Zoom of the group, and it's just an amazing work they do, and the information they share and the support they give. So if you fall under that category, that is something I really recommend you sign up for. Also there, the next stop of the St. Francis Cardiac Screening Van is going to be on June 2nd from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., and that is going to be over at Manhasset Valley Residence. So the van will be out there. If you are in the neighborhood, feel free to stop by and get your screening over there. Of course, we have our social discussion group, which is still meeting virtual as well, based upon the group's preference. And that is Thursdays at 11:30 a.m. It's a great group where you can kind of discuss all kinds of current events and just things that are going on.
Now, I have a question that you may not have the answer to. Maybe Rebecca does. Cardiac screening with smartwatches. I just saw one ad on television where you literally get your blood pressure at any time. You guys knowledgeable about all these things?
You had asked me, I was looking and I know the Apple Watch definitely has that component, because a lot of my friends have it. I do not have any kind of smartwatch or a device, but I was looking up the Fitbit, Otto, and it looks like some models do that as well. So
It's not something that I would say, oh, my blood pressure has gone up. It's kind of a very my opinion, and I would never go by it officially. It's kind of a random test. I mean, when I'm working out, say if I'm working out on the elliptical and I've got my watch on, because of the movement, and if you're sweating, the reading could really be off a little bit or a lot. I don't know.
I think what it could be used for, because I'm going to agree in Beck's camp in that, because I always think you should have a medical professional kind of handling that.
Absolutely.
It's a good kind of like preliminary kind of thing. If you see something, then go get it kind of checked out, or you can call Project Independence and meet with one of our nurses. They're all over the town. They can come to your house. You can come to the office. So I really recommend, it could be kind of a great little, maybe a red flag or something.
It's just a supporting tool.
Right.
Rebecca, does yours do blood pressure?
I don't think so, but I do think.
It does the heart rate.
It's asking me, what can I help you with? Do you do blood pressure screening? No, now it doesn't like my question and it's totally gone. But I think they even have ones that do EKGs. So it's just it's a random test. Definitely you want a more personal one. I find those home blood pressure machines are so off depending on the strength of the battery and the sensitivity and that kind of a thing. But I think it's good in the way that you can tell if you're normally at a certain rate, and it's up from what you normally are. You can see like maybe that there's some kind of elevation, but be very careful and don't solely depend on that.
Right, and I think it's just something that should always just be discussed, whether it's with a nurse or your doctor
Right.
or
No doubt,
whoever, and
yeah.
just say, hey, I noticed something, it seemed a little off. Can you check it out? I think it's just a good kind of, like, all right, let me just do a little
Right.
reminder or something.
Well, I mean, I had it, I think I mentioned it on the show before. It tells you your BPM, your beats per minute.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
mine was super low, down in the 40s. And I didn't feel great, but that's theoretically, that's wonderful that you got a low heart rate, but not if you don't feel so good with it.
Yeah.
Right? So I
Right.
used that and I talked to my doctor about it.
Exactly.
And then it was a valuable tool. But
Yeah, I think that the heart rate is pretty accurate. Is an accurate tool because
Right.
it's just measuring that one pulse, that one beat, as opposed to systolic heart pressure. I don't know how they get your blood pressure through a watch, but
Well,
the
I tell
heart,
you how you slept,
yeah,
did you have a good night's sleep? Or did
right,
like with the Fitbit, you get a rating.
right, yeah.
88, you had a really good night's sleep. I did. Oh, good. Thank you.
Feel good about your day. I'd be terrified to know what my rating would be.
Here's my heart rate right now is 59,
That's
57.
low. While
Yeah.
you're on the show?
Yeah, I have I have a fairly low heart rate. That's normal. A while ago I did have a procedure. I had that cardiac ablation. But after that I was obsessed with my heart rate, and I remember I went to my cardiologist and I said, is it normal? My heart rate goes down to like the low 40s, when I'm sleeping, and he's like, well, how do you know if you're sleeping? I said, oh, well, I wake up and I check it. He goes, don't check your heart rate when you're sleeping. You're fine. It's like you can't, you get kind of obsessed with it,
I know. It's these
Mine
things.
is 74.
I teach yoga, so I pride myself on really on my heart rate and making sure, I do a lot of breathing. I know I'm almost automatically now programmed, Otto, if something stressful happens, I let it go. I don't hold on to
So
it. And
important.
it's something I constantly talk about in yoga. And I truly do it. Like that you just soften, let it go. Don't hold on to things. You can't control it. You can't control anything. You really can't. You can't even control really what's going on in your own body. We can manage things. We talk about that. So, I definitely have noticed in the last few years that, my heart rate is pretty manageable because of how, of my breathing. But yeah, it is pretty low. 70 is good too. That's not bad.
Well, I mean, that's because I'm all worked up here with this,
He's just right.
Yeah.
He's just all these
Talking to
town
Kristina.
events got him so excited.
Take a deep breath in and a slow exhale. Nice positive breath in with a smile. Bring positive energy into your body, and a slow exhale. Just soften.
I'm telling you, the
when
breathing
I
is
play
wonderful.
golf, all right, I'm actually golfing as good as I've golfed in my life now, believe it or not.
Sure.
And a lot of it has to do with
Project Independence radio show. No kidding.
my approach to the game, my mindfulness, my
Right.
breathing, like you point out. Sometimes I'll just sit back,
Yep.
think. In between, I'm going to look up at the birds and the trees, and my mind is helping me now. Whereas when you're younger, a lot of times when you play golf, you get into a big stew over a bad shot, and then that leads to two more bad shots. So the mind has a lot to do with. You need a little bit of ability, which I have a limited amount. I could play golf 7 days a week, and I'm not going to be Tiger Woods. We all have a limit, which is another part of life you have to accept.
Right.
You have a limit with almost anything you do. So, I know people that get all upset because, oh, this didn't work out right or whatever. well, what did you expect? Did you think it was going to be perfect?
Right.
You
Look,
know?
limits are good. Limits aren't bad. I mean, we have limits everywhere in life. You accept the limits and then you move on. You don't go 85 and a 65. You know, that's a limit, you know, whatever the limit is. Once you kind of just accept it. But, you know, what you were talking about, Otto, is like what I love to hear is because your, you know, movement and poses and fitness and what the body is doing is really metaphorical too for the mind.
Yeah.
So, you know, when you know, kind of take in a deep breath and you exhale, you let the body soften. You're not holding on to stuff because the body naturally tightens up. You know, when you're golfing, right? The body is just wants you to stand there, stay nice and aligned, but you're telling it, no, I'm going to lift up, I'm going to twist my upper body, I'm swinging low. So all these things you're doing to connect with that ball in the way that you need to. So really, if you take that breath in before you go into the movement, and as you exhale, that's when the body softens, and that's when you want to move into it. You don't want to move into it when you're like,
Well,
but
just about what you just described, all right. I always kid with people, you know, I tell them, now make sure you keep your right toe locked and your left foot has to be curled this way and your elbow should be bent that way. If you think about all those things, you'll never hit the ball. You know,
but that's not
the main focus is relax and hit the ball. You know,
But that's not actually true, Otto, because like I hate to take up the whole show talking about yoga, but in any yoga pose, the most restful pose there is, every body part has an action, whether it's being restful or if you're in a fully active pose like Warrior Two, where you're, you know, standing, your right foot's forward, intersects the back foot parallel with the mat, arms are at a T, gazing over the right hand, shoulder blades together, crown of the head's up, you know, your right knee's over your right ankle. There's so many things going on to get into that Warrior Two pose. Every body part literally has an action. You know, strengthening your core, shoulder blades coming together, blah, all that. So all that has to happen to come into a yoga pose. Now you're thinking, you know, it's the same thing for, you know, even golf. Your foundation has to be right. Your foundation in golf, when you're taking a swing like that, are your feet. So they have to be positioned right. Most important, you know, thing in yoga, when you're standing, your feet are your foundation. They have to be, you know, you have to depend on your feet. You have to be balanced on your feet in order to do all these other things. So it kind of becomes innate. Like, you know, automatically, you don't say to yourself, okay, wait, where does my feet have to be? Because you know, you've been doing it so long. So your toe goes in or whatever you find that you need to do. So
no, but you do have certain checklists that you maybe go through, like
you have checklists beyond
yeah,
checklists.
yeah.
You have a checklist for your checklist. No.
Well, you know what it all comes down to is the mind is a powerful tool when controlled and not controlled, when managed.
And managed, right?
I like your analogy.
Yeah.
You know, you don't control it, you manage it.
Right.
You know, and that's true of a lot of things in life. You know, you don't control lots of things, most things.
Most things, right? I was like,
Yeah.
majority of things.
Yeah, right.
Right.
But you can try to manage them.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
No, but I think, you know, it goes back to the breathing. And that's something that I literally, you know, from this show, take with me into daily life, you know, because it's just taking those 3 deep breaths, right? And it's something, so I'm into something that's easy. It doesn't cause, you know, it's not like a whole game changer. You don't have to like commit to. It's something you could really easily incorporate into your life. And I think, you know, the other day I found myself, I was nervous about something. There was something going on in my family. And I was just went out, walked around, and just took multiple deep breaths. I was looking up at the sky and the trees, you know, and the birds chirping, and in that, you know, and then it immediately, you know, takes you down. And I think it's something, you know, that you have to work at to do. Obviously, you know, it's not, you know, but when you do that, you know, as you know, we all can attest, it really is something that can help.
You know, that's interesting. Trees and birds are like a calming effect for some reason.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
is.
absolutely. Like the
Not to
ocean
everybody,
is.
but
It's absolutely, it's like the ocean.
yeah.
Like that. I mean,
The
that's
beach.
my go-to. Listen, if I was anywhere, just put me on a beach and
Yeah.
I'm just like a happy girl. But it's just, and that's what you got to do. It was something that I think all of us got an appreciation for during the height of the COVID pandemic. You really, I found myself like even more so like, wow, and then there was really health benefits that were proven to correlate to doing those kind of, all walking, where you just kind of did that. I mean, that's like my favorite term. So it's just this was your mental health moment, from Project Independence and your radio show, which I think is certainly something we
I
like.
had
'Cause,
a quick golf experience about 2 weeks ago,
Mhm.
playing golf in Douglaston, and all of a sudden, what pops up? We look across. It wasn't a deer. It was too small. It wasn't a dog. It was a coyote on the golf course. And the coyote, I golfed with this guy Pete. The coyote came to about 6 feet of Pete and kneeled down on one leg and looked at him. Pete had a golf club in hand. He looked at him and then he started off and went towards the lake that's there. But
Wow.
and then I looked into it, and there are coyotes on Long Island now.
I've heard.
They
I
come
have
over
certainly heard.
from the Bronx, and they're able to swim across that river.
Yeah.
Mm.
Crazy. Well, listen, it's just being aware of nature, right? There's
Yeah,
some magical
but I
things that go
looked it
on.
up after that, and coyotes are only on record for killing 2 people that they have on record.
So it's on record. There you go.
Yeah.
On that
like
note, we're going to only two on record. So
Yeah.
we're going to take a quick break. You're listening to Project Independence in You, Community Talk Radio on 88.1 FM, WCWP.org, and we will be right back with Talk of the Town.
Take WCWP with you wherever you go with the WCWP app. Listen live 24/7 to all of our streams, all from one app. Plus, call the studios directly from the app and visit our social media. Download the app through the iOS App Store on Apple devices or the Google Play Store on Android by searching WCWP Radio, or visit WCWP.org for links. The WCWP app, available now on iOS and Android devices.
Welcome back to Project Independence in You on 88.1 FM and WCWP.org, Community Talk Radio. Your host, Rebecca Miller, along with co-host Otto Los, and of course, Christina Liu, the radio show producer, Project Independence in You producer, and Talk of the Town guru, knowing what's going on in the town. And a big shout out, of course, to Dan Cox, director of 88.1 FM and WCWP.org, who keeps us all in line every show. He really knows. So kudos to Dan for that, because we're not an easy group, that's for sure. Running rogue during commercial breaks and all. But
yes,
so
he's our handler.
what's happening, Christina?
Well, of course, this weekend, if you were listening to the show live, tomorrow, was it? Oh, the date, it looks like it's wrong on here. Hold on one second. I want to make sure I got the right date. Oh, I just looked at the flyer and had the wrong date. So I have another one. It is Saturday, May 28th, so tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. The rain date is Sunday, May 29th. It is the Memorial Day commemoration and fireworks extravaganza. So definitely check that out. I used to go all the time when I was growing up in Roslyn. It's such a fun event.
Great fireworks there. I mean, it's beautiful. Amazing.
They really are absolutely beautiful. And that, I think fireworks, I think about this all the time, have that magical quality that no matter what age you are, you're still kind of mesmerized by like just how beautiful a firework is. Yes, I don't really like the loud ones. I like the pretty ones. Right. But it just still to this day like blows my mind like how these like beautiful colors and shapes occur. It's just one of those things you just find yourself pondering, like, how does this even happen?
Right.
And it's nice to go
professionally managed, though. Those are
100 as they should.
When you have them in your neighborhood and they're blowing off big bombs.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of that.
No,
and I
think
like the shows.
I
Yeah.
agree too, and I totally 100% agree because I think we've all been in neighborhoods, where it's just the thing, and what struck me that I never thought of, and this is just a little reminder for people that it's really important to not do that in your neighborhood just for safety reasons, obviously, and just I have a neighbor who was a vet in Vietnam, and hearing those things are like a trigger for him. And so it's always like an alarming situation, and I think people don't think about those things. So I just a little reminder, and it's I know that there's professional shows you can see all over Long Island. This one's obviously just in North Hempstead. So, but check it out. There's going to be music, Bon Journey, which I like. It's a little combination of Bon Jovi and Journey, a tribute band. So it starts at 6:30 p.m. I believe the show itself starts around 9:15ish. So
Fireworks, right?
yeah, so it's really it's going to be a great day, and it looks like hopefully the rain will hold off for tomorrow. But definitely check it out. And the parking fee is $10 per car, cash only. It says so. That's just I don't think they're taking any kind of credit card for this. This is what.
Do you have any plans to go to the air show in Jones Beach at all?
I used to go all the time. I'm not going this year, but my husband had called me because he actually saw them when he was out working at one of the schools that he works at. He saw them just like doing some practice.
That's what I love. I used to go to Cedar Beach the day before the show, and they come down and they do the whole show.
Yeah,
and
get like a little private show.
But well, it's still busy. People do know about it, but if you come down, if you go a little bit further out east, you get the same, you get the same show, and it's really neat. Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing, but it's an insane crowd that I just don't want to be like in the height of at the moment.
Well, I said 150,000 people show up.
It's a lot, and you got to fully commit to like a full day. Like it's a full commitment. But if you are down for the challenge, I highly recommend it because it's certainly beautiful. What do you guys have planned for the Memorial Day weekend?
Well,
nothing much. Pretty calm.
Yeah, me too. Pretty calm. I'm preparing for my youngest son who's coming home from school, and just prepping up for that, and just doing a little work. I've got a little project I'm starting on. I have a very old hutch, and I'm going to be spray painting the handles and maybe sanding and painting it. I haven't decided. I kind of got into that, but
fun.
It's funny when you were talking about the fireworks. I have friends. I don't know if you guys share these kinds of people, but like people like after the 4th of July, they have the fireworks. And I have a friend who'll always say, well, summer's over. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's the beginning of no, like to them, it just goes really fast. Summer's over after July. And I'm thinking,
I ride that summer out. I'll ride it out.
I know. It's like, don't even people who do that summer downer thing, like, now it's August. Like, hey, enough. Like,
August
enjoy every day.
Great month too. Yes, no, it's not.
Well, September and October can be very nice months too.
I love September and October.
I know. But this year, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that.
Heard it here first. Everyone that's listening, Beck is putting her foot down this year. None of this, summer over talk.
Summer doesn't end until mid-October. Till Halloween. That's the official end of summer.
Maybe even later.
That's right. Absolutely. Well, that's I'm very excited. Memorial Day, obviously, it's always a big weekend for our family.
What are you doing on Memorial Day weekend?
Well, I have just a lot going on as normal because it is my brother's birthday, as I mentioned, and then Amanda's
birthday.
Amanda's as insane about her birthday as I am. So, I created a bit of a little monster. So we are, but it's always on top of, my brother's birthday and Amanda's birthday and them moving into the house, and they have to be fully into their new house this weekend. So we've been just around the clock at their house trying to get everything ready. So we will be doing that. Today I have the pleasure of loading up a U-Haul with them, but we will have interspersed some fun because on Sunday, my dad's task for our family always is his main task is the barbecue man. He takes his job very serious. It's the only time in life I ever see my dad semi-stressed out, right? He's like the opposite of my mom. There is like nothing that can even stress a Bucky out. Like he is just, I admire, his ability to not get all worked up about things. But when I see he gets a little nervous, he wants to make sure everyone gives their stamp of approval with the barbecue. So he is going to be barbecuing on Sunday. I believe he's outside right now prepping the barbecue because I told him it needed, it's 2022 clean. So we'll be doing that, and yeah, just kind of taking it easy, which is nice. So I just want to relax and spend some time with the family and just enjoy the kickoff to summer, which is really nice. So
now next week,
right, the kickoff.
Yeah, next week you gave me a towel for the Wayward Boys Club.
I did.
Next week, Wednesday and Thursday, the Wayward Boys Club is going to have its 74th annual gathering.
Wow.
And that'd be my 60th, my personal 60th in a row.
Wow. In a row?
We go to Greenport. We're going to golf this year at Islands End, which is in Greenport, and then fish the next day out of Orient Point. And we have a pretty big dinner in between with a happy hour.
Sounds
maybe
awesome.
Maybe 2 happy hours. And I'm not a big lobster eater, but we get a 3.5 pound lobster each at this place that we go to.
Incredible. Sounds delicious. My mouth is officially watering. But I think it's so special, and that's, as Otto had mentioned last year, I had a towel, a customized golf towel made up for him with the Wayward Boys, because there's nothing, I talk about that group all the time to all my friends, because I just think it's so special that you guys have been doing this for so long.
It is.
I'm a big tradition kind of gal, and I just love that you guys, no matter what, all do that. How many of you usually go on these little excursions?
8 now. Used to be 50.
Yeah, but that's really great. Yeah. It's just amazing, and it sounds like so much fun. And you combine.
Well, that's why when they talked about having 830 members, that's
Absolutely. Well, Otto, I think that's fun. I can't wait to hear the update about how it all goes, because it's always sounds like a good time. So that's right. Find a group that you love, right, Otto? That's what I think. There's always something for everyone out there.
The Transition Network. Here you go.
That's right. If you're a woman, you could call them up, and they might even know some men groups that go on. So
no, we asked, they don't.
But they, some of the members might know something. You never know. It's all word of mouth. These things,
That's right. That's right.
It's a great idea. You may have different programs, but not really. Health and wellness, anti-racism. These are all pretty neutral topics,
absolutely.
I would say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Certainly. I also want to remind people that kicking off on June 30th are the North Hempstead concerts that are going to be all at all different locations. The first one is going to be at Mary Jane Davies Green, which is in Manhasset, right across from Town Hall. So you could check that out. There's going to be a band there called Porchlight, which is a dance and rock group, which is interesting.
Porchlight, I got it. I know I told you last week. The keyboard player is Jason. He's fantastic. I am definitely planning on going. So let's all go.
Great. I love that. I love Beck. I love that. I like Beck is like our resident, local band scene, newscaster. I like, she's like, I know them. I've seen them. I know the drummer. I like the little sidebars. We only promote things that we know are wonderful on the show. So
yeah, you actually have on July 9th, the Street Fighter, the Rolling Stone band. They're actually going to be playing at my house. I can't tell you when, for a party that I'm having.
At your house?
Yes, they are.
Ooh.
I'll invite you, Otto. I think I sent you an invite on Facebook.
You did?
Excuse me.
I think so.
But there's really a variety. I want to remind saying there's someone, there's going to be, as Beck had mentioned, a Rolling Stones tribute band, 70s and 80s classics, a U2 tribute band, a Phil Collins tribute band, country rock, Bee Gees and ABBA tribute, classic rock and dance, Grateful Dead tribute, Billy Joel. I mean,
That's
so
right. And you
there's
know
a whole
who's the
mess.
singer in Half Step is Tom Sanfilippo, who's also in Tiger Rose, who used to play for the town. And Tom used to do a lot of the songs for the school programs here in North Hempstead, and he's the lead
That's right.
singer in Half Step.
There you go. See, it's like her little sidebars. I absolutely love.
You're very
So if
up
you were
on the
in,
music.
And Cold Spring Harbor, which plays Sunday, the bass player is, are you ready for this? He's in Street Fighter, and he's also in the Beatle-Likes band that's playing at Fun Day Monday. And Cold
Wow.
Spring Harbor is the Billy Joel band, that he's into.
Wow, he's really.
Rebecca,
I like
can
that.
you play a musical instrument?
I cannot.
No,
I
but you're
play
very
a little
into
bit
music.
piano, a little bit guitar, but nothing really beyond, 1 or 2 lessons that I had as a child.
Mostly tambourine, right, Beck? Just
but
grab that tambourine.
my ex-husband, of course, is a musician. My kids are both musicians. My father was a musician, and I just have loved music. And since I was a baby, I was looking at pictures a friend sent me from high school and junior high. It was all of our Halloween pictures. And almost every picture, I'm carrying albums in my arm. I guess I don't know if we're going to someone's house. And I had a Rick Derringer album, and then I had a Meatloaf album. It's so weird.
Oh, I love it. It's so cute. Yeah. Well, that's right. Music is it certainly makes life a lot more fun. And definitely check it out. As we had mentioned earlier in the show, it's going to be at all different parks, and North Hempstead certainly has a beautiful park. So check that out. And then also, speaking of parks, there will be Shakespeare in the park. That is going to be Two Gentlemen of Verona will be performed. And that is Saturday, June 18th at 6 p.m., Saturday, June 25th at 6 p.m., and Saturday, July 30th at 6 p.m. They're
Which
all at
park?
So there are 3 different parks.
Okay.
The June 18th is going to be at Clark Botanic Garden. The June 25th will be at Jerry Pond Park. And July 30th, Whitney Pond Park.
Nice.
Jerry Pond Park is in Roslyn?
That's in Roslyn. As a Roslyn girl, I refer to it as the Duck Pond.
It's the one on Roslyn Road?
Right on Roslyn Road, right by, in the area of the clock tower.
Like not far from the Jolly Fishing.
Yes, exactly right there. And I spent many, many of days there.
Well, you grew up in Roslyn,
high school.
Right?
Yeah, I literally lived at the Duck Pond. It was like our Jerry Pond Park. I always call it the Duck Pond. But I spent many, many nights at the Duck Pond. So,
but definitely not after dusk, because that's
not
when
after,
the parks close.
No.
Never.
Certainly not after dusk.
Now, Kristina would not do that.
Absolutely
not. Kristina.
Absolutely not. I was enjoying the day. I'm a daytime kind of gal. But definitely check that out. So that is also what should be, and these are all beautiful parks to enjoy this Shakespeare in the Park. And we had mentioned it last week, but the pools are opening up, and there's early registration that is currently going on until June 17th. And I just want to remind people of the different pools. So there is the Clinton G. Martin Park pool. However, that is only for Special Park District residents only. So there's a whole bunch of all different, depending on which category you fall in. And if you do the early bird registration, there's a bunch of different fees. You can call 311 for the specifics on that. There is Manor Haven Beach Park, which is in Port Washington. So anyone from North Hempstead's able to register for that pool. And then there's Whitney Pond Park, and that as well, that's in Manhasset. Mm-hmm. And Bunky Reed Park, that is in Westbury, right next to the Yes We Can Community Center. So all these have different fees and whatnot. And some have daily fees if you just want to do a daily. So definitely call 311 or 516-869-6311 for that. And also regarding the pools, the Manor Haven Beach Park and Whitney Pond Park, they're special fees for income qualified participants. So it's you fill out a little membership thing to see if you qualify, and it could take I think it's 60% off or something, which is really wonderful. That it's just, and we had Councilwoman Marianne Delamonte talking about that, and she was saying they just wanted North Hempstead wants to make everything accessible for everyone. in different ways. So kudos to North Hempstead. And that's it. Call 311 for all this information.
Call 516-869-311. And we'll be celebrating Kristina's birthday in 311 days today. We're listening to Project Independence in You, Community Talk Radio on 88.1 FM and WCWP.org. Have a great weekend, everyone. Thanks and love, Otto and Kristina and Dan, and we will be back next week.